We're doing it. I am here with a really awesome artist who has a show coming up, which will probably have already happened by the time this comes out, and I'm going to be there, and it's going to be the greatest show ever. I am here with B. 3EE is how you spell it, but how you say it is B. Are you intentionally being confusing?
A little bit. I mean, my name is B. That's what I go by in my day-to-day life. But yeah, it's kind of like a Black Six Lack thing. Like it's a little intentionally to get people to say it wrong, but nah.
What do you get the most?
Cool. In person, I think people tend to call me B, but on the internet for some reason, people always default to 3, which I think is really interesting. But
because because of the E's, I could see people.
Yeah, but then there's a lot of people who also say like 3E or 3B, and I'm like, where are you getting that?
Yeah. 3E maybe I could see.
3E, yeah. I don't know. I think y'all gotta have a little bit more faith that I would say I would make it something that rolls off the tongue a little bit better than that. But
the number one thing I noticed when we met is that your head is a lot smaller in person than it looks on your album covers.
Yeah, that's like 100% body dysmorphia.
Yeah,
like,
very misleading. I thought your head was much bigger.
Yeah.
What's the choice for that design?
I jokingly say that it's like what I wish I looked like in real life, but. Because, yeah, I just think they're really fun and cute. But at the same time, there's this like really specific Steve Madden campaign from the 2000's that has that same kind of style.
Interesting.
And I really took a lot of inspiration from that the first time I ever did it. And there's a couple other artists that I'm blanking on names right now. But it's just kind of like a collage style. And I really was like, I'm really into doing graphic design because I love messing around in Photoshop. And yeah, like that was just kind of like the child of me sitting in Photoshop and figuring out how to recreate that style. And then it just kind of stuck because it looks cool. And yeah, I think it's a cool way to like highlight outfits and takes the visual focus off of me as a person, which I like.
Right. You made a comment in the other video we did that you missed the maximalist aesthetic, graphic design aesthetic from that era. Mm-hmm. What is it about now? Now it is very minimalistic, but what is it specifically about now graphic design style that you don't like?
I think it's less about like having fun, and it's more like I'm not a big fan of like how corporate graphic design is. Like it's very safe. And I feel like people are kind of afraid to take risks with graphic design, kind of in the same way I think people are really afraid to take risks with like pop music and even R&B a little bit more now.
I think it's everything. I think that is a thing across the board. Yeah. That's a thing with music. That's a thing on social media. That's a thing with people in general. I think it's like the internet has made everything so public, and it's so easy to get clowned publicly and to fail publicly that everyone now is scared to take risks. So actually I brought that up before. I forget who I was talking to here where we kind of touched on something similar, but you're right. Like it's a risk. It's a risk thing, I think, is probably what it comes down to.
Yeah, or it's like even I'm a big proponent and supporter of like owning your like where you started from or owning your growth. Like my first song I ever made is still on my Spotify and I'm going to leave it there forever. My first foray into graphic design is on my Spotify and I'm going to leave it there forever. Like I want people to be able to go back and be like, oh, wow, okay, it really started from here and I can actually trace how that's evolved over time. And I think that that's really important with not only music, but just kind of with every aspect of being like a artist.
I agree with this. I do the same thing with my content. The first thing I ever tried doing, I wasn't doing music shit. I tried doing, my first attempt was fitness stuff. The first time I tried doing anything was like, I tried starting my own little fitness company, brand, like did personal training shit. And then I started trying to do fitness related content and the videos are so cringe. My friends still make fun of me. They're still on YouTube. So it's like a party trick now. Yeah. We'll be hanging out with my friends and someone will just sneakily put the video on YouTube of me eating something stupid or just being embarrassing myself. But I have the same mindset as you. It's cool to be like, nah, I sucked. Like I was bad. That wasn't good. Or like that was cringe. And now I'm like here, like Yeah, it's not cool to always be trying to be cool.
Well, I think it's really important to like, I kind of grew up in the, like right when YouTube was kind of starting to be a thing.
When was that?
Like, well, like 2008, like when it just like had first like really hit the scene.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Oh, okay, we're not too far.
Yeah.
Off.
So, but it's like when you're growing up in that time period, I feel like it was that time period where like your family had a VHS camera, so like you were making little videos and like uploading them to YouTube because you saw that and you're like, oh, okay, this is like what people are doing, and it's just kind of like an evolution of that mindset where it's like taking or just like living through your things, and I think we're so cursed now to be so like digital footprint, and like you're cursed to be online for the rest of your life. Like we have to be like forever.
I don't know what switched too, because like that era of YouTube, the early social media, it used to not be curated. Everything was just
it's a free for all.
It's a free for all. Like you're posting shit on Facebook, just writing anything on on someone's wall on Facebook. Yeah, YouTube videos, the production value didn't matter. I don't know I can't pinpoint when that shifted to then like everything had to be so perfectly curated. But
I mean, I think it's probably just, it goes back to like monetization and like especially the early like media companies on YouTube. Like I remember fucking Rooster Teeth. Like
I don't know that.
It's like they I don't know if they're still around, but they were based in Texas, but they were like really big. But yeah, like I think just money. And now it's like it shifts over to TikTok, and it's the same thing. Like I think TikTok and Reels kind of go through a period like of that Wild Westy-ness. Like early TikTok was very like you can do whatever you want and it might get picked up, it might not. Yeah. Still trying to figure it out.
The strategy now on social too is so bizarre to me now, because I feel like it's like a double-edged sword of, on one hand, the philosophy, and I do subscribe to it, and like TikTok encourages it too, where it's just quantity. It's like just keep feeding it and it'll reward you, which almost leads to shit posting, but then it doesn't want you to shit post. It wants this high quality stuff now, where it's like but we value high quality work. So it's like, well, I can't do high quality work, but post 3 times a day. Like, you know what I mean? So I feel like everyone gets stuck in, they're either paralyzed that their thing has to be perfect, or they're just shit posting to try and keep up with it.
Well, and I think what I've settled on for now, at least, is like, I think trying to just consistently do things that are really high quality and just like do something that's so timeless that it has no choice but to get picked up by the algorithm. And just like really kind of hammer on that instead of like going for the quantity or going for, just really like making it all about the art and making it all about the music. And even from the beginning, like when I was doing this really content-y kind of content where like I'm posting pictures and being like, doesn't this song sound like somebody else's song?
Yeah.
But I'm even in doing that, I liked that content because it keeps your focus on the music instead of it being some outward thing. Like instead of it being like a TikTok with a hook where I'm like, hey guys, I just made the song of the summer. That's
what I have to do. For my videos, I'm always like, it's like the hook, the first 3 seconds, like I'm trying to game that, like it takes over my life.
But one thing I said when I was doing that was like, the hook is literally the hook of the song. Like,
right.
If it's doing its job right, it should be grabbing people's attention anyways, hopefully. So, and it's worked a couple times. So
it's definitely worked for you more than a couple times.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about it. I'm going to jump around a little bit, but before we started recording, but I know you own a studio. I know you run a studio. I don't know, like you could let me know exactly how it works.
Definitely don't own it, but
run it, work at it. And I know you had like a little bit of a more, I don't know what the right word is, if it's formal or traditional, but you had like you went to school for music, right? So like give me an idea of how you got into music and kind of shifted into the style of music you create now, because if my research serves me correct, you were a trumpet player.
Yeah.
All right.
For a long time. So it's weird. It's all very like full circle, but at the same time, I think I kind of just follow whatever direction I'm pulled in a lot of the time. I had a conversation with somebody the other day about like what you're always drawn to your purpose, or you're drawn like towards what you're meant to do, I think. But like I was a little kid, I was listening to, now that's what I call Music 13.
Ooh,
and the first song,
the first one I had was 9.
I don't actually remember if it's 13. It's like either 11, 13, or 14. Whichever one has Cater to You by Destiny's Child on it was my first one ever. And the very first song on that one is Music Make You Lose Control. Music Make You Lose Control. Let's go.
R.I.P. He passed away.
Fat Man Scoop. Yeah. R.I.P. But yeah, that was my first, like one of my first CDs ever. And I ran that through, like it, like listened to it until I
Those
couldn't
were
listen
so
to it anymore.
good. People, like kids now, don't get that because everything's playlist. But like that was the closest thing to a playlist you could get at the time.
That and like, let's not sleep on Kids Bop.
Kids Bop. I actually never was doing Kids Bop. I'll be honest. I'm not going to jump on that.
I grew up in like a cussing isn't okay unless it's a music household, but that was heavy in rotation for me. So, so I started doing music when I was like really little. I was always in choir. I got passed over for a choir solo because I got suspended from school.
What'd you do?
What'd
you allegedly do?
I used to bite kids.
Wait,
and I was like really little. This is like elementary school, but
okay. I got a lot of fights in elementary school.
I got into a lot of fights in like elementary and middle school.
Yeah, I did too.
And then I got sent to anger management, and I didn't get in fights anymore. So
I'm in therapy now, basically for anger management. So
yeah, but all of those fights, all of those fights were self-defense. So
mine weren't.
I was like dispatching bullies left and right. That was my MO. But no, so I was in choir from a really young age, and I did that until I was like, I don't really not feeling choir anymore. My parents signed me up for band, and they have you come in and try an instrument, and trumpet was just the first one I made a sound on, and the music director was like, that is your instrument now. And I stuck with it for about 15 to 16 years. I played it all through middle school, all through high school.
When I was good then.
I was pretty good.
I was the alto. I played the alto sax in 5th and 6th grade, but I hated it and faked it every time. Now, second there was more than one person that was playing, I was not playing. I was faking it every time, and I hated it.
Well, I was pretty good, and I think when I got to college, because I went to college for trumpet as well, that was the first time I was like around people, and I was like, oh, there's a lot of people that are like way better at this shit and take it a lot more seriously than I do.
Where'd you go?
University of Oklahoma. So
okay. So you were studying like what were you studying technically?
I like had to wake up at 8 a.m. and go to like piano class, and like 9 a.m. we had like dilly dallying class, and then like 10 a.m. we would practice, and then band
That's
class.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, and I out of high school, like I tested out of a lot of my like gen ed, so I didn't end up, I was just doing music all the time.
That's cool if that's what you want to do and you're able to finesse that.
But I think I realized like pretty quickly that I was like kind of not shit compared to a lot of my other like college like trumpet players that I was in school with. So I kind of was like actively searching for other things that I was good at in like the music space. And I really kind of fell in love with like arranging and like doing sheet music and all that and composing. And I never did it in school formally until I graduated, and then I was like, oh wow, there's really not any fucking jobs for me to play trumpet anywhere. And
shocking.
Yeah. And then I got a teaching job up here in New York, teaching trumpet, and then I started just arranging horn parts for like some neo soul artists and some.
That's cool. Anyone notable that you can speak of?
I talked to him the other day because he DM'd me and was like, yo, your music is fire. But this artist, Sam Henshaw.
Oh, I know Sam Henshaw.
Yeah. So I did like a song that he was featured on, but he was like my holy grail, because I was like, this guy puts trumpets in his music. That's cool, because I like trumpets.
Sam Henshaw's good.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to Sam Henshaw in a while. Yeah.
Music is so great. But he literally DM'd me the other day. He's like, your music is so fire. And I was like, I did a song with you.
Like you didn't remember
well,
that?
I was like, it was like 4 degrees of separation too. Like
Yeah,
I was working
yeah.
with the producer who was working with the artist who was working with him. But I was like, that's so funny. Like that's such a cool full circle little moment.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then I think like I just keep falling into new things, and I was producing for other people, and I was writing songs as like references for other people, and I was writing my own stuff on the side, and I've just had like been fortunate to have a lot of wonderful people around me that like were encouraging and were like, this is actually good, and you should actually keep doing this. And I did. And I've just been kind of like, one thing my college trumpet teacher used to say is, you can either like do this fully and do this right, or you can go get a greeter job at Walmart. And I'm constantly motivated by the idea of, I used to work at Amazon during all of this music like come up shit too, and I'm mortified by the idea of having to go back and deliver packages.
Yeah, where we can get your motivation.
So
what was your first like attempt at the solo career, and what was the first moment where you were like, oh, I actually am good at this? Like people responded well to what you were putting out into the world.
Well, it's interesting because like I very rarely have moments where I'm like, I'm really fucking good at this. Like,
I'm my toughest critic, so I feel that 100%. I think I suck. I tell myself I suck every day.
Like,
so.
I think I try to make like really objectively good music as best as I can, but I'm never like, I'm really great, you know? But I think like I used to open for a lot of people, and I used to play trumpet for some of my friends, and that was like my way I'd get on the bill, and then I would play. And honestly, like, never thought it would be something that I was like really into, but the live shows, like, cause I'm an introvert and I'm not good at public speaking, none of that. But like doing the live shows and seeing people like react to my music and like how my music makes people feel in real life, and interacting with people, and especially like after the shows when people come up to you that you don't know and be like, I love what you do. And it's like really cool and important to me. And I'm like, okay, wow, I wasn't expecting like that kind of reaction. So I think that really is a big motivating factor of doing music.
Yeah.
But I just love making music too. So
yeah.
I'd do it if no one was
you were
listening
studying
to it.
So
yeah,
that's more than a lot
I was
of people.
doing it when no one was listening to it.
Yeah.
So.
What was the song that you think really helped make things happen for you? Because I feel like recently the momentum's really been picking up more and more.
Yeah, I think there's two. It's funny because I don't think it's like what people would expect, but I think there's a lot of like momentum that happens before the one that everybody sees. And I really think my very first song that ever did anything for me was called Yours and Mine. And it was this like really alt R&B slow song with my friend Norah's World.
Who's also great. Wonderful.
But that song, like that was the first time I ever got on a playlist on Spotify. And that was like one of the moments where I was like, oh shit, this is real.
And
like,
when was this?
Probably like two years ago ish, maybe a little bit more. But that got on a editorial playlist, and I was like, oh, I didn't know that actually worked. Like, I didn't know that if you pitch to the playlist, you can get on the playlist. I was like, I thought that was just like, you know, for whoever. And I think from that point, I was kind of motivated too by the fact I was like, oh, okay, people are listening, and if it's good, they will pick it up.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the second one that really is where I kind of hit my stride was PDA.
Yes, that was how I discovered you.
Yeah, and I think that like I don't think Over could have happened without PDA happening, because that's also I think when the content thing clicked for me, when I was like, oh, this is a thing that can work for me. Like,
I think I found you because you were doing this guy sounds like Justin Timberlake, something like that. And I found her. I was like, oh, the song's fire. I think that's literally how I found you.
And it was literally just like, it ended up just being trying a bunch of different content formats until I found one that really clicked and like didn't feel emotionally draining for me to make. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of ran with it and just kept doing it, and it just kept working, and now I'm here.
Yeah. And this is now you've arrived because you're here. Yeah, I love your music. It's got a nice, like, I know it's like I just said, Justin Timberlake and the 2000s and all that stuff, but it's just, especially the most recent album, Love Songs, like it's got a nice bounce. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You could dance to it. You can groove to it. It doesn't feel too like serious or anything. Like, I don't know. It's very fun to listen to. I play it at home all the time. My girl loves it. So
appreciate that. Yeah,
I really like it. The last album's good. The last few singles are great. PDA is probably still my favorite, I would say.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. I really just like, I think with that project specifically, and I think this next one that I'm working on, like, I'm really just kind of setting out to, it's almost like curating a really good DJ set that I would listen to, but it just happens that I'm every song. It's like,
it's all my music.
Yeah. I want it to be something that you can put on and you can really actively listen to it, or you can really passively listen to it. And either way, it's just really good, fun music that's like enjoyable to listen to. Cause like I love some sad R&B, I love some like breakup songs, but like it does get to a point where it's like, I saw a TikTok today that was like, I don't remember who it was, but they were like, he makes music for guys who walk home from work.
Yeah, but like,
the whole video was the
that.
dude just like, oh, fuck.
That's funny. There's like some bands or groups that I explicitly listen to because it's the best passive listening music. Like Krungbin is my favorite.
Love Krungbin.
The ultimate passive listening music ever.
But it's the same thing. Like you can listen to it actively.
Yes.
And it's really complex and there's a lot going on and there's a lot of like interlocking little parts.
Yeah.
But then you back up and it's just a vibe. Like that's.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of artists who are really picky about that. And like, I mean, there's a lot of people who make music that carries a lot more weight and meaning to them personally than I do. But I think that like, yeah, I think that however people want to listen to it and however people want to experience it, I think you should be able to do that. And it should be just as fun either way. So.
Yeah. So I think, and your first, you did 2 albums last year. They were both last year, right? The first one was a little more like an alternative R&B. And then this newer one was a little more like we were saying, fun pop, like you can dance to it. So you said you're going to basically combine both, you think, or is it going to be a different sound? Like, what's the new
It's kind of like,
direction?
I think there's like an Erykah Badu quote that's like, I make music, or I make art and they eat it how they want to eat it or something. Like, I don't remember what she says, but it's like, I'm just doing more of what I like and more of what I want to be out in the world and trying to curate it in a really cool way that makes sense for people. But yeah, like I think it grabs some of the things from the first one and it grabs some of the things from the second one and it grabs some new things that I haven't really like explored yet. And it just hopefully comes out and it's all really good.
You seem like you're not a big overthinker. I feel like you're
I really try not to. I am.
I'm an overthinker.
I am an overthinker, but I've trained myself to not be in some aspects of my life. So, but yeah, I think that in that same thought process, like I try to be really quick when I'm making music. Like it takes me from start to finish to get an idea on paper, sometimes like 30 minutes, like a full song.
Where do you start in the process?
It depends. Like sometimes I'll come in and I'll be really excited about like playing my Triton that just came in, like my new synthesizer, or I'll come in and I'll be in the train being like I'll have like a little rhythm to come in with. So it just kind of depends. I get a lot of ideas when I'm walking to the studio. So
perfect timing.
Yeah, I come in and sometimes I have a little voice memo that I made on the way and I'll like just literally try to get it out as fast as possible. And then that'll be like a demo. It'll sit like that for 4 to 6 months and then I'll come back to it and re-record the vocals and like really tune it in before like the week before I drop it.
And you're hands-on with everything, like the whole start to finish? Or
pretty much. I really try to be. Like I try to, if somebody else produces with me or makes the beat, I try to at least get in there and like arrange it exactly how I want it or add production. But for the most part, especially on this next project, it's like me taking lead on a lot of the production, and it has been, and I've been working with some other really cool people. Yeah. Cool features, cool producers, like just trying to elevate it, but at the same time, like trying to stay really true to me being the like ideas person on a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I like that I'm getting the vibe that you're not. I feel like a lot of new artists are very concerned with being like, this is who I am, this is my story, like this is what I'm trying to give to the world, and you at least are giving me the impression right now that you're just kind of like, this is just what I like, and however it's received, and just you're just rolling with it, which is probably, and unless I'm wrong, you can correct me.
It's kind of a mix of both. Like I think there's some really intentional storytelling that I do on like the post side, like on the visual end, and like when I'm finishing songs up, there's a lot more intentionality that goes into them. But I really just do try to like everything kind of happens in the moment. But then obviously like when you're doing the music videos and when you're doing the content after the fact, there's like what does this song mean? Like, or what is this song actually saying? And we kind of have to go in and decipher like what I was saying in the moment and be like, this is what this means.
Yeah, what am I saying? What did I do?
But I think, like there's a lot of like really intentional storytelling and aspects to it. But on at least the creation side, I try to be really just whatever happens.
Right.
So,
you have the song DOYA is out, and there's a new song, Best You Ever Heard.
Best You Ever Had.
Best You Ever Had, which is not out right now, breaking the fourth wall, but when this comes out, it'll be out.
Yeah.
Is that indicative of the direction that things are going to go?
I think it's, I've been saying I'm trying to hit bases with the singles. So like, I think this is hitting like a new kind of like, it's still really high energy in its own way and it has a bounce to it, but it's like kind of getting into that like sexy 2000s R&B kind of stuff. And the project is definitely going to hit some of that. But it's still like, it's kind of, like I said, DJ set. Like there's going to be moments where it's like stuff you want to dance to. And then, you know, at every dance that you go to, there's the DJ slows it down. He plays some Marvin Gaye and he's like, hey, bring your date real close and slow dance a little bit before you like play the last couple of hype songs and send everybody home. So
what's your, it's something we talked about a little bit, but broadly, what's your fascination with the 2000s? Like we talked about from a graphic design perspective, but in general, I just have a big affinity for it.
Yeah, I have a big soft spot in my heart for it. Just, I think, cause that's when I was like prime child. I don't know. Like, I think a lot of people gravitate towards like what they grew up with. And like, be that like watching cartoon reruns or, you know, coming back to rewatching shows. But I just think for me, I am really fond of my childhood. So I think that like, I just have a lot of positive memories associated with
great.
that.
Not
stuff.
everyone does. So.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think that I just have some really great like childhood memories of experiencing all that stuff. And
what's your favorite music from that era?
I just like I love the like up-tempo pop music. Like I just think, and even the kind of slower R&B stuff, like I said, like I loved when people were taking a lot of risks, like the early Timbaland stuff, and like Pharrell was going crazy, Ryan Leslie. I love Jermaine Dupri and
Dupri.
Yeah.
Why are you laughing about that?
I'm just laughing because because whenever I'm in the studio and I'm like, I want to make something like a Jermaine Dupri, like, oh, I think they like me, like, that's and sick. People are like, a great song. Why?
I'm like, that song is amazing.
Because it's hype, yeah. But
what are you talking about?
Yeah, so I don't know. He's like incredible, Jermaine Dupri.
Yeah,
he's like
a legend.
He's one of those people because it's like when you talk about the 2000s too, I think people have a really strong association. Like they immediately go Pharrell and Timbaland, but it's also like Dark Child. There's like Ryan Leslie doing all this stuff with Cassie and doing all his stuff, and there's just like there's so many other facets of it, and I think it's also just really cool to explore those other aspects of it that people maybe kind of overlook when they think back to it.
Yeah, I think that's because Pharrell and Timbaland are just still active.
Yeah.
Like there's not many people still actively doing it and still relevant from that time period.
And I
think
a lot of their stuff managed to survive the test of time too a little bit, and kind of become these like timeless classics. But then there's a lot of other stuff that stands up just as well when you listen to it now. So.
And the last thing I want to get to, which is relevant to the show, which will probably have happened by the time this comes out, with Baby Blue, which we mentioned Norah's World and Kenji. What was the origin of the group? How did you guys decide to officially make it a trio?
So I have been working with both of them, Norah's World and Kenji, for a minute. And I mean, you can see that when you go back through my discography.
Yes, I love the Kenji Waiting. Yes, love that song.
So even it's just like I've been working with them for a long time, and I adore both of them, and I love their music, and we just have this like really great friendship and like creative connection. And one day I was just like, what if we made an R&B group and I produced the songs? And and it's kind of like that's the initial idea, and then of course the first song you post does well and everybody's like, oh my god. But
there's only one song out released right now, right?
And it's like it's crazy. Like I try not to check on it too much because I get in my head about it, but it's like it did really well, and it's still
a good song, really well. So that's why.
Thank you. But yeah, like the idea was, I mean, I think where I want to end up at the end of all this is kind of in a similar, like when people look back at what I did, like it's not just my solo stuff, it's my solo stuff, and it's like me as a producer and like working with other people. Like I don't want my musical footprint to just be my music. Like I want it to be my music and stuff that I do for other people. And I was like, you guys are like two of the most talented people I know, so let's make songs, because it's really easy for us to write together. And with a lot of the stuff that we have, because we have a lot.
The song that's out right now is called 561.
Yeah, 561.
561.
But yeah, I was just like, let's do let me produce, and let's everybody push each other out of our comfort zones and see what happens. And that's kind of where that ends up.
So what's anything you can tease, or any plans? Or
we're working on another single, hopefully to come out sometime in July.
Oh, okay, that's soon.
Yeah. So they kind of all, like, they're both, Kenji and Norah both are also dropping around the same time. So we all kind of like not even intentionally end up kind of dropping around the same time, probably because we all work together, and it's like whoever, like my homie Way Too Fresco mixes my stuff, he mixes Kenji's stuff, he mixes Norah's stuff, so we end up kind of grouping it all together. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited because I do love that song too. So that's the only song I've heard. So I'm excited for the rest.
Me too.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to hit, that we need to talk about? The new single's out. The Love Songs is out still, but maybe something else coming soon.
Yep. Yeah, just Best You Ever Had should be out everywhere.
Where can people follow you?
Instagram at 3EE BEE.
That's how I knew it was B.
Yeah.
Because the handle, I'm like, all right,
BBB.
They're trying to tell me it's BBB. Yeah. Like that's how I figured it
also,
out. Also,
because Just B was taken. So
just like
just 3EE was taken.
Damn.
It always is.
You're so unoriginal.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's some kid with like like a deactivated account.
That's the worst. There's been so many times where
I'm like, please let me use this.
There's been so many times I have like, oh, this would be a great handle, or I have an idea. Let's see if the handle's available, and can't find a single handle that's even close to what I want.
Yeah.
And it's always some account that's not active.
The worst is like, I was like, this is right when I got started too. I was like, please let me buy this from you.
No answer.
Please let me buy this from you. And no answer.
Yeah, because there's no one's using it.
Yeah.
You should be able to just be like, it's mine now.
I think that would get into some really scary... That would get scary.
If
but
you're not using it for a few years, it should be gone.
Yeah. Big media conglomerate would be like, no, it's actually mine now. You're not using it well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, BBB everywhere.
Yep, BBB, go follow B. Their music is really good. I'm really excited for what's next. Like I said, literally discovered you on my own. When did PDA come out? 2 years ago? Probably
Probably
3.
about-
1?
Probably about 2. Probably like
2?
just coming up on 2 years, I think.
But yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank
Check
you.
out B's music. And yeah, I'm going to be at the show, and I bet it was a great time. Predicting it now.
Cool. See you there.
Thank you.
Yep.